Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Way of the Holy Family. I hope y'all are doing great this Lenten season. I wanted to share a little bit more of my experience. A couple of weeks ago, I was in the hospital for 5 nights for surgery and a procedure. Unexpected, a lot of pain. Previous episode covers a little bit more on that and what it meant to offer up the pain. It was a beautiful experience. So if you haven't listened to that episode, as I continue forward on this reflection, looking back, I hope and pray that it blesses you and perhaps brings some light in whatever struggle you may be having in your life, where it's agony of the heart, physical pain you may have, or a brokenness, or just life is difficult at the moment, whatever it may be. Now, I asked myself and I asked the Lord, I'm like, okay, Lord, what's the point of all this? Why am I going through this right now? The short answer is we live in a broken world, and sometimes we ourselves break. We all break at some point, but as the good Lord does, he brings the good out of the broken. Now, obviously, I can't sum up everything that the Lord was doing for me there at this time because I fully don't understand it. I cannot see his whole plan. All I know is that lately, whenever I go back to him going, Lord, what are you doing? He goes, I have plans. And he says it in a cheerful manner because he intends good for us. And that being said, going through this experience, I really didn't have much more to do. And I couldn't overly think it because I didn't have the strength for it either. So praise God for that and writing down things before I forgot them. Again, I hope this blesses you with wherever you may be at in life, just to see a little bit of light, a little bit of hope, and ultimately Christ's love for you because he wants to make us whole. He wants to unite himself to you and bring you so much joy, peace, and fulfillment. And I felt like he brought me a little bit further through that week and the following weeks of recovery. When I was in the hospital itself, I felt like it was an endurance race. It was a test. How was I going to handle things in the moment? Probably the first and most obvious thing was at every turn, I had an opportunity on my part to be courteous to everyone, perhaps even overly courteous. The doctors, the nurses' assistants, the cleaning aides, the secretaries, my husband, even the other patients around me. There was this one poor guy. He was not looking good. He was in the adjacent hospital bed in the hallway in line for the CT scan. And as I rolled out of the CT room, I just simply gave him a thumbs up. He didn't respond, but everybody needs a smile, maybe a little bit of humor, a gentleness, so to speak, in a really hard moment. Before I had my procedure at the end of the week, I took a moment to joke with the team before they put me out to sleep because I was their last patient on that Friday afternoon. They need a little bit of life. And I tell you what, every single person responded in like kind. And me waking up after anesthesia was not pretty. But they all took it with grace. Yes, it's a part of their job and they're used to it. But the love that they have for the patients who come through day in and day out is remarkable. Their endurance is remarkable. And I felt loved day in and day out in that hospital. I'm incredibly grateful for each and every person that took a little extra time in my room and had conversation with me. So I would have to say, most of my moments, as difficult as it was so very sweet. And even in the areas that the Lord revealed that I am broken in, asking again this question, what is the point to all of this? This moment was an out-of-body experience, and it shook me out of my normal routines, my normal responses, and my normal thought life. There was one moment I remember specifically that I had spite towards an individual that flashed through my mind. And I had to decide there, do I run with it or do I let it die? It was such a blessed time to be living in that moment because if I tried to look any further, there was only fog. I couldn't see beyond what was going on me, beyond my room, beyond even to my house. I would ask, hey, how are the kids doing? But I couldn't really absorb the information, nor could I give any input to help my household. And the fog is difficult to be in. You're obviously, again, not in your normal environment. You're on hospital time. I slept 6 hours one night and I slept 1 hour the next, and then 6 hours the following night. I was going through a lot of pain. I was immobile, and I had a lot of pain medication running through my body. In the times that I couldn't think things through, or I just had to lay still and be, I was being purified in those moments. He was teaching me patience. He was teaching me trusting the people around me. There was a very strange moment when I rolled back into my room after my surgery, and my husband was there. Him sitting in the corner, and he sat up with enthusiasm. I could tell his body language was like, oh, my wife is back. And I couldn't respond to him because it would have made me sick. And that was hard. I had no response to him. I couldn't say thank you in that moment, or I'm so happy to see you. I just literally had to be carried by the staff and be loved by my husband in that moment. And that's what God does for us. When I couldn't respond, my needs were fulfilled. When I could finally respond, they asked me if I needed anything. Gosh, I was served so much. I was loved thoroughly. Now I'm on the path of healing. I'm still working on the patience end of things because, I can't pick up my 26-pound son at the moment, but it's okay. And in the way that Christ showed his love for me through all the staff and my family and friends who prayed for me, we all have that opportunity to love people unconditionally outside the hospital. Because after all, we're all sick to some degree in some way, and we're all hurting in some form. And oh my goodness, the price that Christ paid for us to be healed entirely is such an incredible gift. I hope and I pray that you know that you are seen wherever you may be at, wherever you may be hurting. Have a blessed Lent, everyone. And as always, peace, friends. Thank you for joining us today. Check back every Tuesday through Thursday as we drop new episodes and news. Feel free to follow, or if you would like to know more information about Way of the Holy Family, please click the link below to our website, wayoftheholyfamily.com.